Yo, Ron Murray, Mr. High School Holler. Glitz out, you did.
Ron Murray, Mr. High School Holler, the biggest, coming to you live from the big station, champions only. And with me out of sunny South Dallas, the back-to-back state champion, Lincoln Lady Tigers. And with me, MVP Lanae Dallas. What's going on, Lanae?
What's up?
Hold on, let me call you by your real name, Baby Braun, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how you was looking against Frederickson. 23 points, 9 steals, and 5 rebounds. Talk about the game.
I just think coming out, I had a mindset to not only get MVP, but win as a team. And we all had that mindset to win because, for the whole season, we just wanted to go back-to-back and bring the trophy back to the South again. So.
All right, and y'all definitely did that. So talk about the differences your freshman year coming into the Tigers program, winning a state championship, and this time being able to be MVP.
At first, coming in as a freshman, it was a lot of things that I had to learn and had to improve on. And I'm glad that I had coaches and teammates behind my back to help me with that. So, freshman year I didn't get it, but we still won. So I couldn't be.
No, I get you. No, you're good. You're good.
Wait, you got that out?
No, you're good. I
Okay.
promise you, you're fantastic right now because it makes me go to my next question.
Okay.
At what point would you say you did get it? Because I was at the Brock game and you were a flamethrower. You were letting that thing go.
Honestly, some things I feel like I still don't get, and I need my teammates and stuff to help me with that. But the Brock game, like I said, me and my team, and also myself, we had that mindset to just come out, win, dog them girls out.
Hey, y'all won. Y'all definitely did what you were supposed to do. So along with that, what would you say were the big moments during the season that you thought, hey, we can go back to back and go win again?
Honestly, because we was on like a losing drought. Like we was
Right, because I saw y'all started 0-3 at one point. Y'all had to get over that hump.
Yeah, we had to get over that hump, and I was like, okay, now we getting it. I feel like we can definitely win this. And, we had some of them games, and I was like, oh, yeah, like, when we actually played as a team and played Lincoln Lady Tiger basketball, and I was just like, yeah, we going back to back.
All right, Lanae, so what does it mean to you to be able to bring another championship to sunny South Dallas?
It's a blessing to be here with the same girls, most of the same girls that was here last year, and having fans and coaches and parents just supporting us the whole way through, and God too.
Hey, shout out to God.
Yeah.
Most definitely. He helped y'all on the journey, and yes, y'all definitely had support because when I was at the Brock game, the fans were there. When y'all went to state, the fans were there as well. So what would you just say, being able to put up points and even looked at as a leader on your team, what you want to improve as you get ready for your junior year?
Like you said, being a leader, I feel like I could improve on that. Sometimes I might go into games, don't say nothing, and just ball out. But unfortunately, like you got to say something in the game, especially like when you one of the talented girls on the team. You just gotta talk. So.
All right. So what was Coach Greer's message at the beginning of the season as y'all tried to go on the back-to-back title run? Because I know y'all were the Avengers one year. Y'all there's always some type of theme that y'all are doing. Hey, y'all brought pride back to the South again.
He just told us to have that same mindset again and go back to back. There's no room for failure. Because we trying to accomplish stuff. So there was no room for failure.
All right, I gotta ask you, how'd you get the name Baby Braun? How'd you get the name?
Honestly, I was real young and I was in a tournament. And they just gave me that name.
So you earned it though. It's not like you gave yourself that name.
Nah.
It ain't just some IG thing. You Baby Braun for real. You did that.
Yeah, they called me. They just they put my name in the papers and they put that was Baby Braun on there.
Hey, and y'all dominated all the way through the postseason. Did y'all expect to have that type of success just to be able to beat those teams the way y'all did?
Honestly, yeah, because we, like I said, as a team, we had to come together and. We was in a losing drought, so we was like, hey, we got to pick this up. So in the postseason, we just had to dog everybody out.
All right, Lanae, let me know how you get ready for game day.
Our DJ, Sanaa, shout out to Sanaa.
Shout out to Sanaa. So she controlled the aux.
She controlled the aux.
Okay.
And she put the songs in there, and we just get lit as a team, and we get ready for our game.
All right, what's on the playlist?
Shot calling by Young Boy.
Okay, shout out to the slime. Shout out to the slime. Along with that, what's on the eats? What's on the pregame meal?
Sometimes pizza,
Okay.
or most times pizza, or you know, we have our booster club. Shout out to them and the alumni as well. They help us. Sometimes they might bring in some food for us. So yeah, shout out to them.
All right. So what were some of the fun moments that y'all had as a team off the court? Because Coach told me that y'all took a trip to Utah. Y'all were able to play in that tournament, and y'all were able to go other places. So what would you say were some of the fun moments for the team off the court?
Yeah, like we went to Utah. We still play games down there, but
Right.
you know, just going to a whole nother state, that was a blessing. You know, taking a flight down there, and we went to like main event for Team Vonnie.
Okay, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. Because at that point, like I feel like we needed that Team Vonnie, and Coach knew it too. So we took a little trip to main event, and yeah, we got the Team Vonnie that we needed.
Okay, junior year is loading up. You wrap up your sophomore year. You know, you did it big this year. What can we expect next year?
To go back to back to back. Do it all again. Like my coach said, there's no room for failure. Even if we start off a little shaky, okay, we always gonna get back. We always gonna get back to it.
All right, baby Bron, let everybody know what they need to know about those Lady Lincoln Tigers from sunny South Dallas.
We gonna be back. We not done.
Ron Murray, Mr. High School Holla, the biggest, coming to you live from the big station, champions only, and out of sunny South Dallas, the back-to-back state champions, fresh out of coming from City Hall, those Lincoln Lady Tigers. And with me, head man Ashley Greer. What's going on,
What's
Coach?
up, boss, man? What's up?
Coach, big congratulations. Back-to-back state champions. Third straight year going to state. Just talk about the run.
Oh man, it's been an amazing ride, to be honest, man. And the blessing about it is I can see it continuing. Started out a little slow, as you said, back to back, and our third year in a row, we lost in double overtime our first year. And I think that set us up to put on a run where we can go back to back. So here we are now.
All right, one thing that we talked about, coming in, taking over a dynasty program like Lincoln that has won, going back to back, third straight year going to state. How do you just keep the team motivated and keep the standard there?
I mean, I think it's important that our kids understand what the history is of our program. And I think purple, gold, and white bleed through their blood, man, and it runs through their veins, man. And I think it's important to make sure they understand the nostalgia of this program. So, yeah.
All right, one thing, big shout out to Coach Nick from Kimball. He shouted you out, and of course, Dallas ISD having a phenomenal year with all the state champions. And he talks about how it's not easy going back to back. And just talk about trying to go back to back, especially in a place like sunny South Dallas.
Man, first off, shout out to Coach Nick and those Kimball Knights, man. That's back to back on their boys' side, and they play in the SEC of boys basketball.
Okay, yeah.
They play in the SEC of boys basketball. But I'm gonna say this, man. You know, going back to back. And the thing about it is you're trying to live up to that standard and exceed that standard every year. And, you know, you got kids that leave the program, and you got new kids that come in that have to learn the standard. And it's not easy, man, but, you know, making it look easy is important. You want to make it look easy, but also understand that it's not easy. The journey is always a tough journey.
All right, speaking of the journey, tough journey, starting out 0-3, how was that for the Lady Tigers at that moment?
I mean, that was one of those things where we front-loaded our schedule with tough teams. You look at the state champs from this year, you look at Lancaster, we played them. Argyle, we played them. Den Ryan, we played them. We played, it's a couple more, Summer Creek, we played them. So we front-loaded our schedule with tough teams so that we could prepare ourselves for the long haul. So, I mean, yeah, we started out 0-3, but I think that 0-3 prepared us for the run that we made going forward.
All right, what would you say were the difference between the two teams? You know, last year's teams, this year's team, you know, a lot of coaches say no two teams are the same, but they're still champions.
Definitely not the same. I mean, I think last year we had more of a veteran-laden team. That team from last year went through that tough journey where we lost in double overtime. And coming into the next year, they were prepared. I mean, we only lost 2 games the whole year, and we played again. We played a tough schedule again. And I think this year we had to move a lot of those freshman girls into prime positions.
Yes.
We missed one of our starters, all-state player in Jada Patterson, who had an ACL injury in the summer, which we had to learn to play without her. And I think that was part of our journey because she ended up coming back in the playoffs. She came back after 9 months, which is almost unheard of.
Right.
And she gave us some great minutes in the playoffs. So, I mean, I think this team had to go through some trials and tribulations in order to get to a point to where we could repeat.
Winning so young, is that something you're surprised by with the roster that you have? Because, of course, MVP, Lanae Dallas, freshman last year, sophomore this year. Just talk about having that youth on your squad.
I think it's important, man, to have a good influx of youth into your program because what that does is that keeps your program churning, where you don't have to kind of depend on kids growing in and growing out. More than anything, you keep that cycle going. This year we graduated 5 seniors, but we also played with 8 sophomores, 1 junior, and 2 freshmen. So I look forward to even having a few freshmen on our varsity again next year. Maybe 3, maybe 2. I can see 3 for sure.
So what's that conversation like when they're coming right out of 8th grade, right from recess to where you're coming into a legendary program? How do you talk to those kids to get them ready for this moment?
Well, first of all, I want them to understand nothing is given. Right. Everything is earned. My expectations is for you to achieve that goal to play varsity. But a lot of our 8th graders that come into the 9th grade or come into our program, I've seen them and I've dealt with them since they were probably 6, 7.
Okay, relationship building.
Oh, definitely. It's over time. So I've had an opportunity to see their growth from that to that point. So I can see with my coach's eye, yeah, she may be ready. She may be ready.
All right, and we talked about this a little bit off camera. You know, you're someone that did coach on the boys' side for years before taking the head coaching situation at Lincoln. What would you say the difference is between coaching young men and young women?
I think the young ladies have a different passion for the game than the young men. I think for the young men, athleticism kind of gets them through until they meet a better athlete than them. You know, but with the young ladies, it's more methodical. When you can teach them to really think the game, then let them be an athlete at the same time, then you're cooking with grease, hot grease. Right. And so I think the young ladies are far more cerebral with the game.
Okay. Also, one thing I did want to ask you about, you know, I had a conversation with you about the shot clock. Right. And I say, you know, with the tenacious defense that y'all have, there's no need for y'all to have a shot clock because, you know, you're right there in the players, right in their face. But just your thoughts on the shot clock, because some coaches, I believe, they like the shot clock but won't necessarily say that publicly. But I've heard coaches also say, if I got another chance to set up my offense, why do I need a shot clock then? I may just sit there and take a whole minute off. Just your thoughts, Coach.
Well, I'm definitely in favor of the shot clock, man. The number one thing about it for me is that I think it's a college readiness thing. If you have aspirations of going to college and playing ball, high school is the next closest thing, so why not go ahead and get you jump-started with the shot clock? So it's not a shock value once you get to college. As I told you before, we played with the shot clock when we played in Utah, and I absolutely loved it.
About 35 seconds, correct?
Oh, my God, I loved it. Yeah. I loved it. I mean...
Was it easy for the team to transition to playing with the shot clock?
No, because we actually got like 2 or 3 shot clock violations. Okay. And, you know, and I had to condition myself to start looking up once we got to about 10. But I think it's a needed tool. I mean, like I said, I think it'll prepare girls and guys for college. You know, college readiness is what it's about. So I think that shot clock helps high school ball players prepare for college.
Okay, and another thing, we always talk about how the Dallas-Fort Worth area is a sports area.
Absolutely.
And we talk about how DFW basketball, I feel the Dallas-Fort Worth area has become the hoops mecca at this point. So can you just talk about the women's, the girls' side of hoops in the area and just how competitive it is? Because you've shown that you've been able to continue the legacy that's at Lincoln. So just talk about the whole area when it comes to girls' hoops.
It's crazy you say that. I think on boys and girls' side, this is the current hoop mecca of basketball. If you look at the number of competitive teams from East Texas, South Texas, North Texas, as a group, I think we play great ball. And over the summer, you'll see, like last year, Texas had the #1 high school player in the nation. We produced several high-level players this year too. That's going to high-level Division I schools, and I think those trends are continuing. So I definitely think we are the mecca of basketball.
All right, and speaking of that, you know, there's a lot of moving and shaking that happens with the high school transfer portal. But as we talked in this interview, you know, having those relationships with student athletes, bringing them to your program the right way. What do you think about that, especially with so many athletes moving in this era of high school sports?
I think the transfer thing is, you mean the college transfer portal or the high school?
No, so I call it the high school transfer portal because to me they move even more than colleges do, especially when you might have a kid that's went to 4 high schools in some cases.
And honestly, you know, I don't judge kids for transferring. I mean, every kid should have an opportunity to play regardless of whether it's here or there. Now, depending on your reasoning.
Gotcha.
I think that's important, and you know, everyone have their reasoning. But for me, I think it's important that will we allow transfers? Yeah, absolutely, if it's the right way. If you moved into our neighborhood, absolutely, I'll give you an opportunity. But I just love building our kids from scratch, from the sandpaper all the way through. You know, and I think it's important that they understand that purple is important. You know, purple is important, and I think if you're going to be a part of our program, it is a commitment. If you choose to leave, you choose to leave. I understand, but I do ask for that commitment.
All right, big shout out to Coach Gerald Smith at the great James Madison.
Yes, sir.
Bringing a state championship to sunny South Dallas. You doing it again yourself. What does it mean to bring a state championship to sunny South Dallas?
It means everything. It means everything for the kids from the middle school, Dade Middle School, from the local elementary schools to watch our girls be successful. We don't just do it for us. We don't just do it for Lincoln. We do it for the whole southern sector. And you know how we can be perceived at times.
Correct.
And for us to get on that stage and show pride, we do it with elegance, we do it with grace. My girls are all high level academic kids. We have the #1 academic kid in her class, which is Jada Patterson.
Big shout out Jada Patterson.
Big shout out to her. We have a young lady that graduated last year named Grace Spencer, who is at the University of Texas. All-state player, but she chose to go academics. So, I mean, like I said, I just think it's important that we put on for not only our city, but for our neighborhood as well.
All right, Coach Greer, y'all been regulars at K104,
yes,
champions
sir.
only. Let us know what we can expect next year with the Lady Tigers, Coach.
Hey, man, the expectations is to keep going. Not 1, not 2. Not 3, and I'm gonna stop at 3. But the goal is to keep going, man.
Right.
I mean, you know, we want to continue our dynasty and our tradition. More than anything, tradition. We want to keep that going, and that's 5 in totality for our program. That's 5 total state titles. We would love to make that 6.
Coach Greer, I appreciate you so much.
Man, appreciate you, man. Shout out to my seniors, R.J. Elder, Sanaa Lewis, Alyssa Weaver, Jayla Colton, Berlia Miller. Got him.
Yes.
Shout out to my seniors, man.
Hey, shout out to sunny South Dallas, the Lincoln Lady Tigers. Ron Murray, Mr. High School Holla, the biggest.